Check it out. I got this story here from Timcast.com. Inflation soars to nearly 40-year high. I want you guys to understand the consumer price index rose 6.8% in November. That means from November of last year till this November, if you did not get at least a 7% raise, a 6.8% raise, then you are losing money. So I would like to stress, people will forget your words, people will forget your accomplishments, but people will never forget you voted for Joe Biden, because this is part of the reason why we have this. Nope. Shout it out to the bestpoliticalshirts.com. But I genuinely mean it. I mean, a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden, this is what you get. Now, I think we all know that inflation has been really, really bad. We don't need like the latest metric to make us understand this. What I really want to get at, as we're ragging on the snobby elites, is this article, which this one lit a flame in me from The Intercept. Inflation is good for you. Don't panic over milk prices. Inflation is bad for the 1%, but helps out almost everyone else. This is a funded, shill, controlled opposition, garbage media outlet lying to people. Let me just explain to all of you. Inflation does nothing to the 1%. In fact, it helps them. One thing he points out in this article that is true is that debt becomes worth less as the dollar becomes worth less. If I owe someone $10, but then $10 can't buy you anything anymore, I basically don't owe somebody any money, right? And he argues that's good for poor people because poor people hold all the debt. The problem is they still have the debt. Now they can't afford to buy food either. So maybe they'll get lucky and eventually their wages will go up and then they can pay off their debt. But let me make one thing clear. If you got $50,000 in debt and that debt gets devalued because of inflation and you make $15 an hour, your $15 an hour is devalued because of inflation too. And you still can't pay off your debt. And now you can't buy food. But a rich person can take their money as soon as they get it, invest it in stocks and assets, which will go up in value during inflation. And they'll say, has no effect on me. And I tell you this, rich people, they go to the store, they don't know or care about the price of milk. The Intercept and these far left establishment crackpots are manipulating poor people so they can keep their crackpot Biden in power. And this one pisses me off.
Yeah, because it actually hurts people tremendously. It hurts the weakest. It hurts the poorest people in our society, and it takes advantage of them in such an unfair freaking way, where the Federal Reserve is literally printing money, giving it to their friends in Wall Street, and everyone else is finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. And why is that? Well, it's not because of a political party. It's because of the financial system being literally a Ponzi scheme that everyone's going through. And this is not just The Intercept. This has been a coordinated effort through a lot of corporate media organizations that have been repeating the same lines. Inflation's great. CNN had a similar headline. CNN just had Don Lemon on singing the praises of the President of the United States, saying, "Can you believe it so? 5 cents less for gas." Absolutely insane rhetoric.
Look at this.
Celebration, victory in poor people becoming poorer and the rich people becoming more powerful than they ever have been through the largest transfer of wealth in recorded human history that we're going through right now. And it's sickening to see happen right in front of our eyes. And then the corporate media lie to the people saying it's not even happening. You're better off. No, you're not.
This is the dirty game. This makes me... This makes me angrier than I've been for a lot of issues. You know, granted, I'm not nearly as mad as when the FBI raided James O'Keefe. That was clearly infuriating for me. Yeah. But to see all of these massive multinational billion-dollar corporations trying to convince poor people that they are gutting your savings, your life, your ability to buy food, everything you work for your family, for your kids, trying to build a better life, they're stripping that away. They are gutting you. You are being screwed over by the elites. And then what do? They have The Intercept, progressives, and CNN tell you it's a good thing it's happening. These poor people who get stuck in this and believe this trash. That's what I want. I don't want any power over any of you. I don't want any money from you. I want you to know that you have agency, that you should keep the money you earn, that you have a right to control your labor, and that these these media companies are lying to you so that the Amazons, the Walmarts, these billionaires are stripping away your value while their cronies in the Federal Reserve and the government are printing away money and screwing every one of us. And you know who says this? Steve Bannon says this. They call him far right. We have more in common with left populists than we do with the establishment. The problem is people watch too much CNN and believe this crap. If you are on the left, if you're progressive or you know someone who is, please explain to them that CNN is a trash rag that is lying about everything. We're being ripped off by the entirety of the establishment.
Well, and then what they do too is then the federal government wants to give everybody a lot of money, right? They want to not only they're jacking up the prices and everything, they want to divide Americans from their basic ability to earn a living on their own. So they want to feed everybody money. They want to feed everybody all of these services so that then Americans are just entirely reliant on the federal government and don't have the ability to, earn their own bread, take care of their own families.
You guys,
and then we're afraid to speak up. How could we possibly speak up against something that's so big and has so much control over our lives at that point? They control healthcare, they control our income, they control our families. That's what all of these programs are about. That's what these vast social engineering programs are about, where it's like, let's give everybody some free money. It's not free money. It's control money. It's money to take your liberty away from you.
You guys sound like crazy conspiracy theorists. I believe Jim Cramer of CNBC, who just said that today we have the strongest economy, perhaps, that I've ever seen.
So
yes, that's literally what he said today.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the Democrats were tweeting about all of the jobs that Joe Biden has created. And I really hope that all the rest of you guys saw this chart that they put out showing the gas prices are coming down. Well, if you look closely, it's zoomed in so tight to the cents on the dollar. It goes from like 338 to 336. And they're like, oh my gosh, the gas prices are coming down. And it's like, you guys are joking, right?
Yes.
Seriously, Joe Biden is not creating jobs. He's allowing people to go back to work because he's
I'd like you all to see this.
A generous God.
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
take a look at this. This is the Democrats on Twitter. Welcome to the Biden boom.
Got ratioed.
And it says jobs created in the first 10 months of presidency. Under Biden, the economy has outperformed the past 4 Republican presidents' job growth numbers. The funny thing about this is they're it's just, if you fall for this stuff, first, it would be important to compare Biden to Obama. Oh, that would make Obama look bad.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. And Clinton. No, it's just the Republicans.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mention that the job growth under Biden is actually stagnant. And what happened was there was a major collapse when Democrat governors locked down their states, and then it bounced back only a certain amount and has struggled to recover since then. But of course, if you take away 6 million jobs and then snap your fingers and say you can work again and you get 5.8 million jobs, then all of a sudden they're like, look how many jobs you made. These people are evil, man. I don't like Mitch McConnell. I don't like Lindsey Graham. I don't like Kevin McCarthy. I don't like the establishment Republicans. Their whole plan is obstruction and do nothing. And you elect these people again and they will do nothing. We need to primary them. And look, this is why I cheered when AOC beat Crowley in New York, because screw the establishment Democrats. I'll take whoever I can get. The problem, I think AOC is still just another establishment Democrat, but she's wearing a Bernie mask. That being said, primary all of them. I donated to a progressive leftist who was trying to primary Nancy Pelosi because I would rather someone be in office saying, I have bad policy ideas, but I recognize these huge list of problems, and be like, I can agree with that and we can work on something. But when you have the Biden administration, the establishment Democrats, the Hillary Clintons, we saw he died, and their whole plan is, well, if we blow up more kids in a foreign country, maybe that'll be good for the economy. Then we'll claim to have some kind of win. And they gaff with Afghanistan. When we have a real opportunity to end that war, they just burn it to the ground.
They destroyed it.
I would rather have some crackpot lefty who's like, I just want Americans to have health care. And then I can be like, that's a bad plan for health care. But at least we agree we're not going to spend our money on blowing up kids.
Well, and it's so interesting, too, that now they're laying the groundwork for having like a whole Ukraine thing. It's like they can't exist without having some war to go fight.
But they're not going to go against China. China's their business partner.
No, and we saw that already. You know, we should have been standing up for Hong Kong. And we should have been standing up for Hong Kong, and we just let them get totally destroyed. That was a relatively free place, you know, and we just let those protesters be imprisoned. We let the pro-democracy movement die. We did that because we're just shilling for China. It's so stupid. Like, these activists were out there with their lives fighting for democracy in Hong Kong, fighting for free speech, you know, working on that so hard, and we just let them down. And in letting down Hong Kong, I do feel like we let down this democracy project. And now you hear the administration, Psaki, you know, coming out there talking about the importance of democracy globally. And it's just such an obvious garbage thing. They don't believe it at all. They just don't even believe it. If they believed it, we would have stood up for Hong Kong.
Yeah, I remember being in Hong Kong during the uprisings and the protests there, and they were absolutely intense. And there was a warning. I remember spray painted saying, this happened here, but it's going to happen everywhere soon, and it's only a matter of time. But they said it more eloquently. I forgot the exact phrasing of it. But to your point, Tim, I definitely agree with you. Mandatory term limits, put new people in there, let them give a try. Kick them out. Kick all the people out to prevent all the corruption.
I don't
There's
know.
a lot of corruption.
I think term limits could possibly result in shadow organizers, and so
Yeah.
there's challenges there.
There's
And
already
plus,
a lot of shadows.
It's true. It's true. But why should we tell Ron Paul he can't run anymore because we're upset that Nancy Pelosi is running too? You know what I mean? It's like,
1 in a million.
I suppose it goes either way, right? Term limits get rid of the bad, but they could also get rid of the good.
The way I see it is that they're all criminals. Some criminals are better because they have more experience.
think
So
Ron Paul is
let
a
in
criminal.
let in the new criminals. Whenever you have someone stealing money and then using it for their own purposes, I have my own definitions and my own understanding of it. But you either have expert criminals or you have rookie criminals. I rather deal with rookie criminals that don't know what they're doing, that aren't intertwined with the system as much as the people who are definitely intertwined, like Nancy Pelosi.
I think it's crazy that we're supposed to say Dr. Jill Biden, but we're not supposed to say Dr. Rand Paul.
Right?
Right.
She's totally a fake doctor.
She's a fake doctor. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to watch live, you can check out this channel Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you want more unfiltered and uncensored content with all of these guests, go to timcast.com and become a member. All of these guests you know and love in exclusive segments on our website where we are unrestricted in what we talk about, so you'll definitely not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all next time.